Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning. I want to get into a subject that has many dimensions. We are going to get into ancient Egypt. We are going to also get into ancient Israel and the Levant in general. We will also talk about the country called Nigeria. I found a very interesting article that I looked at immediately, and nobody told me that it is likely fiction, but whoever the writer is, he is somebody who has taken a look at the different peoples of Nigeria, their different cultures, and how they perceive one another. The positions he took showed that he is aware of the acute differences between the Igbo people specifically and other Nigerians. And who posted the article? A.S. Obe, an Igbo practitioner of Judaism who retains the knowledge and the awareness that he is still Igbo. There is a reason why I said this. Not every Igbo that practices Judaism retains or is interested in his Igbo background. But this guy retains it. That's why he found history purportedly ancient about the Igbo people and considered it worthy of sharing. I will try to get into what I read and I will let you know my views about it. It says how the Ebira people ruled ancient Egypt with impunity. It is said that the reason why Ebira people and Igbo people hardly see eye to eye, the Ebira people are one of the small ethnic groups in Nigeria that occupy a portion of the central parts of the country. Interestingly, I lived in their land for a very long time. So this article says, it is said the reason why Ebira people and the Igbo people hardly see eye to eye is because the Igbo people were the Jews of the past and the Ebira people were the pharaohs that enslaved them. Then, I don't know who wrote this, but the article says below is Adai Tutu, popularly known as King Tutankhamun or just Tut, who became Pharaoh of Egypt in 1332 BC at the meager age of 9. Adai Tutu was the first king to use charms and totems to wage war. He attacked peace-loving Jewish Igbo people who were living peacefully at the time in where is known today as Israel. Adai Tutu enslaved them and brought them back to Egypt, and with their slave labor he built the pyramids and ruled over Africa with impunity. His reign was short-lived but brutal, as the Jewish Igbos are said to have received such 100 lashes for dinner every night, according to a philosopher, blah blah blah, who left a comment on Facebook. The Igbos were rescued by their great leader, blah 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 blah. It could very well be fiction, but trust me, believe you me, I lived in Okene, the major city of the Ebira people, for a long time, where my brother had a trading enterprise. And I did not go to Okene as a very young person who was not observant. I went to Okene as a lawyer. And throughout my 9 years in Abuja, I passed through Okene anytime I'm going from the Hebrew federations to Abuja. So I know the town very well. And I knew that I was looking at something extraordinary when I saw the architecture, the culture of building of the Ebira. Every house had a mausoleum. Every single house in Ebira land in Okene had a mausoleum. I felt that I was looking at the miniature versions of the pyramids of Egypt. How could every house have a prominent tomb in front of it? And what were the pyramids primarily for in Egypt? Burial chambers of emperors and kings, pharaohs. So when I saw this culture in Okene, and interestingly I wrote it, that I had a feeling that these were Egyptians, pharaonic Egyptians, transplanted from the Levant down to the lands of West Africa where you find hundreds of rivers. I wrote it so many years ago. If you conduct a search on Facebook, you might still find something. So when I saw this, my response was, interestingly, I saw ancient Egypt in Ibira. They are also called Ibira culture. And I have written about this years ago. What I find so shocking is that somebody has been able to connect general Ibira feelings to the pharaohs. Do you know that it's good to be able to dig up evidence? Even my fellow Igbos who became traumatized, who became nihilistic, you find some of them today dropping hints, manufacturing falsehood that they were not the Hebrew people. But history and culture does not lie. I will show you two things now. The anti-Semites will not let the Igbos deny successfully that they were the Hebrews. Donu Kogbara is a prominent Nigerian journalist. He wrote in the Vanguard newspaper. Fulanese are one of the large, they are not really a large group, but because they combine with the Hausas, they seem large, but they are one of the prominent groups in Nigeria. So she quoted them. She said, Fulanese have a far from perfect reputation in Nigeria, but nobody runs around really informing the world that Fulanese must never run Nigeria. Meanwhile, a Vanguard reader who wishes to remain nameless emailed me, that is Kobara, to say that Igbophobia, like anti-Semitism, has no justification, neither will it ever end. Something evil struck the Igbos, and it is anti-Semitism. The Igbos, some Igbos who want to care, majority don't care, know it as Igbophobia, but I know that it is anti-Semitism. So even though you find some of them who are sick, saying that they existed before Adam, that they are older than the Israelites, people saying this may be 30 years, 40 years, and they, in sickness, they fantasize that they are older than people that lived 3,000 years ago. The anti-Semite does not forget who they are. That is why somebody who wished to remain nameless emailed Kobara that anti-Semitism, like Igbophobia, have no justification, and that they will never go. Whether the Igbos want to be older than the Israelites, or whether they want to be older than Adam, they will still suffer anti-Semitism, which other Israelites suffer. Then look at something again. Let 2023 be the last time Igbos interfere in Lagos politics. A high-profile Nigerian singled them out and said that they are aliens, that they should not interfere in the politics of Lagos. Meanwhile, they were not contesting any election in Lagos. They may not see this as an anti Semitic attack because most don't care anymore. The few that care have shouted till they have become worse. They have a lot of mischief makers who would, if it is possible, claim that they existed before God created the world. And interestingly, in this age of social media, even the lunatic can gain attention. If they can buy a phone, open a Facebook account, and type around nonsense. But one thing will continue to stand out: anti-Semitism. And even if you are of Israelite stock, but you keep on saying or believing that you are older than the Israelites, even though you are 30 years, anti-Semitism will not let you go. So, back to the subject I was talking about. When I looked at Okene, looked at the mausoleums, every single house would have a major tomb in front of it. I felt that I was passing transplanted Egypt. And interestingly, the Ebira, the Yoruba, their languages are close. Remember, Egypt was not constituted of one people. It was an empire. All the ancient peoples around the Levant were represented among the Egyptians. So you find so many nationalities there. But as in ancient Egypt, where only the Hebrews were marked for extermination. Remember, take all their first sons, throw them into the sea. So, into the river. When those Egyptians moved to Nigeria, only the Hebrews, whom language change has turned their name to Igbo. Before it was Igbo, they were the only people singled out for exactly what they were singled out for in Egypt. And knowledge will save us. Both the anti-Semite and his victim, the Israelite, need to cut off this cancer called anti-Semitism because it is a danger to everybody. Have a very beautiful week and see you soon again. Thank you.